shit. Oh shit, my kicker made the Pro Bowl.
I'm a rub on your tits and whatnot. With a hard knocks.
Sheldon Ward, second wide receiver.
50-50.
Damn, Hendricks up here. Shit. Michael Myers,
Baby.
Lindstrom,
Something called a nigga volume 2.
No.
I lost my motherfucking co-host to the Real Talk show since them bitch ass niggas from Chatty Patty start bitching and shit. Nigga ain't did a show since. Oh, there you go, right there, Marcus Jags. Ha ha! All right, here we go. Pro Bowl week, Pro Bowl selection week. Before we get into the Pro Bowl selection week, man, let's put the keys out there. Let's put the fucking plugs out there, what I said was going on. All right, so obviously the Super Bowl players, the representatives cannot be in the Pro Bowl. Their players will be playing in the Super Bowl and all the good stuff. So all the other teams have an opportunity to play the Pro Bowl. While we're at advance right now in the Pro Bowl, we got an opportunity. But within that time frame that you have to play the Pro Bowl, there's a reward there. So if you can get the other user that you match up with in the Pro Bowl to play you, and you play that game, you will get a gift. Also, the winner of that game, it will double up on the gift. The gift will be revealed later on tonight on what that gift will be in the main chat. All right, so we're looking for guys, if y'all want to play the Pro Bowl, to play the Pro Bowl. So match up, whoever you matched up with, holla at them, get them on, let them know, you know, play the game and get a gift. Simple as that. The winner will get double. All right, that's what I'm doing in the Pro Bowl right now. Hit the like button.
You almost kind of got to just send an invite and to find out who you play. It don't necessarily tell you your opponent, so you kind of just got to like send an invite. Am I right?
I don't know. I usually thought it showed who you played. It say their name. Like go down to it. It say your name. I don't know who you matched up with. I don't know. I haven't played.
You ain't at that week anyway, right? You ain't played. All right. I don't.
All right. While we're trying to figure that out, I don't know. That's not an answer I have for you guys to be able to tell you who, you know, who plays who.
Because it plays Super Bowl in your jump anyway. Right now.
Nah, it's the Pro Bowl week for me, but it doesn't. I'm not in it, so it's not gonna tell me.
But you're not in it, so you can't. Right.
That's weird because I thought it shows you who you play.
After we finish, I'll pull up my stream so you can see what I'm saying, what I say about it.
All right, no doubt.
You know what I mean?
All right, man. So here we go. Before we get into the Pro Bowl and talk about the Pro Bowl selection and get into all that right now, I want to talk about what happened. You know, the award, not the Players of the Week throughout the playoffs. I'm going to talk about that View Weekly Awards. I'm going to go back to, you know, Week 18, 19. We're going to start right here, first playoff games. So in the wild card round, you saw Bolin go crazy with 9 receptions, 310 yards. He averaged 34.4 yards a pop with 4 receptions. And a really big blowout. They picked the other team home 70 on him, but Bolin did stand out. And I think, Coach Nano and this Patriots team has to enjoy the fact that he showed up in his ball game. Something for them to look forward to in the future, man. They found themselves a true #1 receiver, and he's really making a name for himself, and he has been over the last couple seasons, Snake. Bolin has been, one of the best deep threat receivers in the league as far as go get 50-50 balls. When it's just him and the defender, that man come down with more passes than anybody else in the league. And that's a special talent to have, especially, with his 6'4" frame, to be able to go up and go get him, man. He got a 40-plus inch vertical, so he can go get that thing. And he got the speed to be able to, separate from some of these defenders, too. I would think that, they would try to build off of this with this receiver, man. They can find themselves one more receiver, whether it's a slot or #2. And you think they thought they would have had it over there with Randy Moss Jr. to be able to, make some things happen over there. But I think as long as the Patriots start to continue to progress in the passing game, with Bolin leading that charge, I think they can be scary, bro. I think they can be scary with that strong run game over there. If you can't really cheat their run, because you got to worry about a guy like Bolin, they're going to be in a situation. 50-50. Nah, you're right. But we're going to give Bolin some love, though. He's not going to win that game 50-50 in it. You got to be better than just throwing up prayers and, hoping your guy come down with it, although he did come down with it 9 times. Walter Payton Jr., he continued his season in the playoffs, and he went crazy for 22 carries, 214 yards, 9.7. His man had down 10 yards to carry with 5 rushing touchdowns. I mean, that's impressive because they played a team that run the ball, and they played a team with one of the top running backs in the league, and Harold Street, and he outperformed him in that game, in the blizzard out there in Soldier Stadium, Soldier Field. They went crazy. My boy on his shit today. 7 plays, dilly. Ah, man. But again, man, Walter Payton had a really good wild card round moving this team on. You saw Peter McCoy from safety to sub linebacker with 7 tackles, 2 sacks, an INT, and a forced fumble recovery. That's not saying fumble recovery. And he picked up one. That's what's up. He balled out. And then there's a Jamaican, Lennox Castle, 5 tackles, 3 interceptions, the forced fumble, and a touchdown. So he balled out in that game, man. That guy continue to get better. What I like about Castle is you saw the from the mud build, right? Today, my conversation is from the mud. You come stumping out the mud like a big dog, right? Because we saw this guy come in the league with one of the fastest safeties to ever come out of our draft. Outside of Daxton Hill. But he came out the draft, Daxton came out on X Factor. This guy came out of the draft just on the star. And you watch the development because he had a great rookie season and didn't dev up to a superstar. It took him 2 seasons to dev up. That's from the mud. That's making a player do what it do. That's drafting somebody and coaching that player up to be able to super exceed what his expectations was. With Buffalo, man, speed kills over there. That's what they do. They go get that speed, and they develop that talent. And Lennox, the Jamaican Castle, has been developed by one of the better coaches in this league when it comes down to development. So I love seeing a player from the mud where you self-made this guy into a dog, somebody that's supposed to be reckoned with. I mean, come on, 3 interceptions, a fumble recovery, and a touchdown in a playoff game. That's speaking volumes from where that guy came from. So shout out to the Jamaican and Coach Hoodie. Now we get to week 20, and Kyler Murray goes 15 for 20 for 396, 4 passing touchdowns. He threw 1 pick. He had a carry for 3 rushing yards. Well, Sensei does what Sensei do. Shout out to Falk with the veteran quarterback, man. I mean, he gives me, Tom Brady in the Tom Brady's career. We're starting to see that with Sensei. At this point, up there in age right now, he's still the best quarterback in the league. I think his arm is starting to wind down a little bit, though. I'm starting to think that he's losing some of that oomph on that passing, on that velocity and things like that. You're starting to see it a little bit. So now he has to win the game with his brain, and what better, offensive coordinator to have over there than Peyton Manning to win the game, with your brain, right? So we saw him do it at the end of his career with Denver when he won the Super Bowl, where he ain't had the same throw power, the velocity on the ball wasn't the same, but the smarts and the intelligence of him playing that quarterback position, still was able to let him play at a high level and win late in his career at a high level. I think we're seeing that with Kyler Murray right now, man. I don't know how much longer Kyler Murray is going to be in the league itself, or how much longer will he be, a guy that the Cardinals look at as a guy that could take them back to another Super Bowl. His resume is off the hook. 4 Super Bowls as a quarterback, MVP, all types of passing, leading career passing record, touchdowns and yards, things like that. He's off the hook. So Kyler Murray is a Hall of Famer for sure, and he does it again in the divisional round. You go down and you look at Jeremy Cumberland. I mean, this guy's a 20-sack guy every year. 3 tackles, 2 sacks. He's definitely the leader of that defense up front. They got some young guys that's stepping up with him right now, man. He's always benefited from having another pass rusher on the opposite side of him coming off the edge that played really well, too. He did it with Vicky D, and now they got the young kid, Tyreek Smith, doing it right now, man. Do you think he's, Jeremy Cumberland is the monster we see, or the fact that they always got another guy on the other side makes it very, very hard for guys to double team and really, try to key in on him because they got that D tackle that's a dog, and then now they got the up and coming red shirt freshman kid they've been playing all year that had damn near 20 sacks on the year, or do we give him his flowers, man, as one of the best pass rushers in the league through his career?
I think you gotta recognize them because the numbers there. When we talk about some of the best pass rushers, but you also gotta recognize that system over there because they often have multiple guys. And multiple guys, and they're just showing even this year. They kind of plug and play. They got multiple guys with with the numbers up there, which is
Mm-hmm.
impressive.
And
So,
it's definitely a system when you plug and play, but in that system, he's been consistent. You know, consistently doing a year in a year out. So shout out to him in the divisional round. Then you get young AI to answer too. Only 9 for 11, 436 passing yards, threw 1 touchdown. Sacked twice, had 22 yards rushing, but 2 rushing touchdowns. That's going to be the theme with him. Being able to, control the game with his legs, and when he's asked to throw the ball, he was able to do it. But for a guy that won Player of the Week, divisional round with low passing numbers like that, that just tells you that was a defensive week in AFC. But Lennox Castle comes right back up on her again with 2 tackles, a sack, and an INT. So he was a force to be reckoned with in his first 2 playoff games this year for the Bills. He's back up at it again. The Jamaican. All right, and then week 21, now you get to the championship game, so you're only going to see 2 teams up here, 4 teams, but they're showing the winners of both games right now. Bradshaw was 9 for 12, 329 yards, he threw 4 passing touchdowns, only 1 pick. Zach Holliday went dummies with 3 interceptions, 3 tackles, 1 interception. He took that to the crib. So shout out to Zach Holliday. The Bucks have been looking for, a new number 1 corner since Bunning, and they traded the other kid to the Eagles, but those guys got up there in age. They're looking for, younger guys to come in and take that next step to make them have, really good shutdown corners over there. Casey Fields, man. KC you later. 29 carries for 142 yards. He only averaged 4.9 by 5 yards a carry. He had 2 rushing touchdowns in the win over the Bills in the blizzard, man. That game was a tough, really, really tough game. But Najee Israel stepped up with 2 tackles and 2 interceptions. He really kind of saved us in that game because you're dealing with a team that can strike from anywhere at any moment in the Buffalo Bills. So for him to be back there and, be the man in the middle back there deep and get the 2 picks was very, very important to those guys winning the ball game. Before we get into the Pro Bowl selection, we just talked about the players of the weeks. But when you look at the bracket and you get away from the divisional round, we talked about the winners of each divisional round. Those teams that played in the championship games, you had the Bucks versus the Cardinals. The Bucks pulled it off 49-31, and the Baltimore Ravens pulled it off 27-16, giving us a 1 versus 1 seed matchup in the Super Bowl. listen, when you look at the two teams that actually lost the championship games this year, um, both those teams are in a situation to be right back in this game next year. Um, damn, that's how you gonna walk by with your butt big like that? Damn. That's what we talking about? Shit, fuck this show. Oh, Lord. But Snake, talk to me right now, man. When you think about the Buffalo Bills, where do they go after fighting their asses off to try to get back to a Super Bowl? That they were the game that they played in last year, which was the Super Bowl. Where do they go?
I think looking at the Bills, I think they just trusting the process over there, man. They got a lot of young players. They don't have no problem drafting and bringing in them young players in over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think they just look within. They've had it off season, brought in the vets and brought in the youngsters. I think you just trust within and look at the process. And this was actually a developmental year, but I mean, you got a lot of young talent, a lot of experience out there. They done brought young quality players in each of the last 3 seasons, so I don't imagine them losing anything over there on their roster.
I think the Bills are in a situation to continue to be dominant, right? Because I think they addressed the front line, both sides of the ball.
Right.
And in my opinion, Snake, you know me, I think that makes your team, period, right? It starts with the trenches. If there was a weak point on their defense, it was the front seven. And what they did was they went and got a diaper dandy and KJ Henry, who had 20-plus sacks in the regular season as a rookie, 20-year-old doing that, right? And they completed their line. I mean, they got one of the Watt brothers sitting on the other side of him, so they kind of solidified on the edge pass rushers. Kitchens is a monster D tackle. They're completely good at the linebacker level, led by Battle, and Ray Louis the fourth over there. So I think they're in a situation where they're kind of a complete team now. And like you said, they're just the development. Just continue to develop. When you're dealing with younger players, thresholds and things like that matter. So the more they get those guys better and hopefully dev up from stars to superstars to X factors, when they dev up, the better they get, the better this team is going to be, man. The one positive I thought they showed throughout this whole playoff was that if needed to be, man, you want to focus on them throwing the ball up and down the field. They can run the ball. And they did it through Danger, and they did it through Kendall Milton, which was, another rookie they brought in, Kendall Milton, who had a great year being a number 2 back for them. But when they needed to play power smash mouth football, they went to him and Danger. And they did a really good job. If you look at their stats through the wild card round all the way up until this AFC Championship game, they were more of a running team than they was throwing the ball. The weather puts them in that situation. Playing in Buffalo, they playing in the blizzard. Then they got to come to Baltimore, and it was a blizzard. But they showed that they can run the ball, and they have to. I think that puts them in another situation that's something to look forward to going forward, because you're dealing with a team that can do a little bit of everything. Run the ball, throw the ball, they can do it all. They got a dual threat quarterback that can move the pocket. He can run the ball. They got it going on right now. And I think, they're always going to be in the mix at this point now. And I don't think they're going to find a season where the Bills, wouldn't be looked at as a team that can get to the Super Bowl. I think their division has, they got to step it up, their division. Those guys, the Dolphins, the Patriots, they got to step it up right now, man. Right now, the Bills are in control of that division. And until they step up, I don't see nobody stopping them from taking over that division completely. What you think?
Man, Bills kind of say what they do and do what they want over there right now, man. Like the Bills have arrived officially, man, a year ago.
Yes, sir. This is gonna make for an interesting division, because I'm saying they look like they're ready to completely take over that division doesn't mean it's going to happen, right? You still got to always pay attention to the Patriots and the Dolphins. But they're definitely, if it was a race, they're pulling away right now. Would you say that? Would I be making the right
I mean,
statement?
you'll say that, but we've seen this appearance before because I think in the beginning it looked like Nana was pulling away. Then we seen the Dolphins
Looked like
come
he
say
was going to
have
pull
something to
away.
say,
Right,
and
right.
then you seen the Bills come and have something to say about it. So you'd like to see what other team can take that next step. And actually, both teams, the Patriots and the Dolphins, actually have shown some promise in some areas this year. So it, like you said, it'll be interesting going forward to watch.
Right, no doubt. I agree. So then you look at the losing team over in the NFC for the championship, and you look at these Cardinals, and you realize they're 2 seasons removed from playing in the Super Bowl, right? 3 seasons removed from playing in the Super Bowl. But with them being in those 3 seasons removed, you figure 2 off seasons since this last time they played in the Super Bowl. This team has returned that roster over. They're like literally in the process of retooling over there. A lot of veterans aren't there anymore. That was was on this team during those Super Bowl runs and things like that. So you got a lot of guys that they're very young, that aren't playoff and Super Bowl proven yet. So to me, I think they're on schedule to be exactly who they was, a couple seasons ago, being one of the top contenders in the NFC. That talent pool over there catches up. They get the playing time on the field, they experience, they start to develop a little bit more, and they continue to flip this roster. They're going to be in a good situation because at the end of the day, they were in a situation where I asked him a few seasons ago, how long is it going to take you, to make that flip, to turn that thing over? He said a season and a half, and I always put us all, anybody that's a builder, you look at it on a 3-year window. You give yourself a 3-year window, and in that 3-year window, you want to see at season 3, you want to better see you back playing the type of football you've been playing. Over there. So I do think the Cardinals are, the roster's flipped over. They replaced a lot of those players. They still got some players left from them 4 Super Bowls, and Kyler Murray being one. But we're still going to see, and as long as Kyler Murray is in decline and still playing for this team, they still gonna have to get a quarterback eventually, and you still got to see that process gel. So I think that, coaching wise, the Cardinals are gonna always be coached up to a high level. They're gonna play better than they should be, in my opinion. I don't expect them really, outside of just being one of the better coaches in the league. I don't expect them to really, play in the Super Bowl right now for a couple of seasons. And it's showing, happening right now. The Giants knocked them out, then the Bucks knocked them out. But they're in a situation though. And when they turn it over and we start to see, that talent catch up to the ability of the coach, shout out to them Cardinals because they right back in the mix right now. So going forward, I think both those teams are in a good situation, and both of them will be, have something to say at the end of the season next year to be able to, get themselves right back to these moments, and turn it around to the point where they can win it. So that's the teams that lost, and now the 2 teams that will be matched up both are the 1 seeds in the AFC this year. Both teams lost to the Buffalo Bills. Their only loss was to the Bills, right? We lost early on to the Bills, and then the Bucks lost to the Bills this year. Last time this team matched up,
late to the Bills,
lost late, yes sir, off of suspension too, right? Quarterback wasn't on the field.
Suspension.
Yes sir.
Last time we had 2 number 1 seeds meet up in this league, I believe. That's the first time. That's the first time.
Nah,
right?
last year, it was the Bills.
Oh, both the
Bills
and
and
Bucks.
Bucks were number
1
seeds.
seeds. Okay.
Yeah.
So last year was the first year, I think. I'm trying to think. It just that shows disparity of level in the competition. That it doesn't really happen too often. But you're right, it did happen last year.
Yes sir.
All right.
Last time these 2 teams met up, Lamar Jackson was on the field for 3 quarters, and the Bucks, dominated that ball game, man. And the process that happened in that ball game was Lamar got benched, and Anthony Iverson became the player in that game, and we never made the switch back. So, that game started the career of Anthony Iverson, and put us on the path that we're on right now.
Talk
to
about the
really.
growth from Anthony Iverson from that game to now. What's the difference? You know, he lost that. They lost that game, right?
Yes, sir. Darren
You
had,
talk about
what is it called? Darren Headlights. He actually came in and scored 3 touchdowns for us. What he did was he came in and they're not prepared for him as a passer. They didn't know what they were expecting. Lamar is the guy over there, right? You're gonna do all your training and everything around what Lamar can do, and he came on the field and it could have been cleanup duty because it was late, bro. He put these points up. So we really didn't get a good look at what he could through that game, but the switch was made because we saw enough to see that he's ready to go now. He redshirted a year, sat down there a whole year for 2 years, and he's ready. He understands the playbook. It's not like we got to close the playbook some. We can leave it wide open for him. He can run the entire offense, and we start to see that. And then as we went on game for game after that, we saw that he was ready to make that step. But from that start last year to where he is right now, night and day. I think he's playing way better football right now, because it's his first full season as a full-time starter. But I do know this: the experience of last year, Snake, the fact that he did play all the way up into the championship round last year and lost a heartbreaker to the Buffalo Bills, I think has him ready. I think it gives him a little bit more. The game is not going to be too big for him. Now, it's the difference between playing in a championship game and losing it, and then playing in the Super Bowl. But he did what we asked him to do. He took that next step, right? Last year he lost it. This year he was able to win that game. And he did it himself. He pretty much, with the help of KC, again, blizzard game, nobody's out there trying to throw the ball around the park. We didn't have great passing stats at all. 46 yards, he threw a touchdown. But he was big on the ground. 9 carries for 133 yards. That's big on the ground. That was the reason why we was able to win this ball game, because he kept the drives moving. So we want to just see him continue to take those steps. And we just feel like the players around him has to play at a higher level for him to be able to take that next step. So, and then you got these Tampa Bay Bucks who, are defending their Super Bowl championship. And this team is, they got veterans, they got some young blood over there. This team is, they're proven, they're ready to go. I don't know what motivation they would need. I would think, some of those players over there that's still on the field playing, it might be their last foray because of the age thing that we got going on right now. But they got veterans at every spot. The one thing they're going to be comfortable at is the players that's going to be on the field have been in these situations. The players that's going to be on the field are high aware players. There's no real super young talent that they need to count on. They can use them, but they don't need to count on too many young players right now. A lot of these guys are very experienced and been seasoned for these moments right now. So this is a pretty good matchup right here, man. That we're gonna see tonight. You know what I'm saying? So a pretty good matchup. So that's the Super Bowl right now. You got the Baltimore Ravens gonna be playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, now let's get to this Pro Bowl selection and see who got to where, when, where, and how. All right, so we're going to view the Pro Bowl roster right now. All right, here we go. So Kyler Murray, Sensei, does it again. Old man Kyler is the #1 quarterback. He's QB1. Mike Weber is QB1 for the Buffalo Bills and for the AFC side right now. So that's your QB1s. The next two, I really would love to see them play with all the talent around them. In this Pro Bowl, you got the golden child, D. Thomas, sitting here for the Philadelphia Eagles, and then Akil Glass. Akil Glass is here for the Chargers, who had a great season as a first full-time starter to make the Pro Bowl. That's big time. So it's safe to say the Chargers have found their signal caller for the next 6-7 seasons.
Man, that's what's up. Said he's one of the better passers. In 1 year, he got his QB up here.
All right, so you slide down to QB #3, who will be playing in this game as well. You got 2 guys from the same, well, not from the same draft class, but 2 guys that are young gunners that played for the first time this year. So you got Bryce Young on the diaper dandy year, rookie year. It made the Pro Bowl. That's solid over there.
Replacement for the Giants. Replacement for Bradshaw.
Right, replacement for Bradshaw.
Still in there, so yeah, Bradshaw still impressive. He came over What, after a few games in the season? Or that was
It was
after
about
a few
5 games, 4 or 5 games. I think 4 or 5 games that they played over there.
And,
Now he did a good job for the
to
Vikings. He
be
threw a lot of
even.
touchdowns. He's thrown a lot of yards though. But with what he did with him though, to
Yeah, that's
continue that,
impressive to
that's
even be
impressive.
up here, to even get up here with the rookie QB. That's very impressive.
And then Kenny Pickett, man, he sat a year, right? He sat a full season and then became the starter in his second season. And he's in the Pro Bowl right now. He's replacing Anthony Iverson, but he's in the Pro Bowl. Kenny Pickett will get snaps in this year's Pro Bowl. You got the future of the league with, a few of these quarterbacks up here. I would say you're looking at 5 out of the 6 up here are the future of the league. And then Kyler Murray, man, he's showing that, age ain't nothing but a thing, baby. I can still do this thing over here. Now, let's get to the running backs over here. You got Joey Cummins for the NFC as the back number 1, right? Is H-back 1. And then you got Tremaine Bass for the Las Vegas Raiders at the number 1 running back for the AFC right now. Both big body backs, 5'10", 220, 6'1", 230. Both of them can run in between the tackles. Both of them break a lot of tackles. Both of them had a lot of yards. Both of them was over 2,000 yards this year. With Joey Cummins being the rushing leader this year, who had an MVP season all year. If there's one running back that carried their team, it's these 2 guys right here. But nobody did it like Joey Cummins did this year. They'll be your running backs starting in the NFC. But right behind these guys are up-and-coming backs as well. Walter Payton Jr., who's been balling for the last 3 seasons, and then Springs, who had a breakout year for the Texans this year. I would like to see him amongst his peers in this Pro Bowl game. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to rush for 100-plus yards in this game. Then you got backs 3. You got the veteran and Travis Etienne Jr. Is this the last hooray? Are we going to see him for one more season before it's said and done? Or is it over with for him? There's a lot of questions over there in Jacksonville with that running back Bryce Hall over there as well, waiting for his turn. Etienne, Pro Bowl back again. As he's a veteran in this league, he's sitting over here chilling right now. Like, I'm still that guy. Do not, if you think that for 1 ounce that I'm not still that guy, you done lost your marble ass mind. Then we see
I just reached my prime. I just took over the league, all-time rushing leader.
Now, Boone Jackson is the number 3 running back on his list. I'm going to just say like this, man. We saw Boone Jackson go over the 2,000-yard mark this year. Something that I've been waiting for. This guy been in the league his 3rd season. The first 2 seasons, first year he had over 200 carries, 1,000 yards. Then we didn't really hear from Boone Jackson as much last year when Smoking Hayes kind of like took over that backfield. But then he became the starter again. He had a breakout year this year. I really want to see him in his Pro Bowl game as well. I want to see how he's going to fare amongst, she said, somebody taking the shit.
Somebody taking a shit?
Nah, it's you. Did you just take a piss? We heard all of that.
Oh, damn! I'm in the kitchen. I'm fucking with dishes in my dishwasher. I'm in the kitchen, man.
But Boone Jackson, man, that guy, I want to see how he fare up. If it's 2 backs that I want to see go dummies in this game, would be Springs and Jackson, man. I want to see both those guys really take it to the next level, and what better game to do it than amongst your peers. What I'm expecting is when guys play these games, when they come out of these games, they talk about Boone Jackson, they talk about Springs. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're really the it factors. When you got a bunch of coaches that are going to be able to get to play with this 6'3", 245-pound monster, right? And then you got Springs, the 5'9", 225 speedster. When you get to play with these 2 guys, man, I'm hoping that the buzz around the league will be talking about these guys and what they should be doing next year for their respective teams.
And that's kind of why one of the reasons we put the thing out there to play your Pro Bowl, because a lot of these guys that we talk about in these games and throughout the seasons, if y'all play them teams that play a Pro Bowl, we expect y'all to like drop it in the regular chat. Hey, I see what y'all was talking about such a player. Drop his name in the chat. Give another user owner some rep. You got a lot of dogs out here. These wide receivers, these quarterbacks, running backs, linebackers. Like that way you get a chance to feel and see what some people talking about, man. Drop it in there. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yes, sir. All right, the fullbacks in this game, you got Antonio Gibson, who moved to fullback this year for the Jets. You got Harris. I don't know who he plays for whatsoever right now. I think the Panthers. I think this is the Panthers fullback. This guy a dog too. If this is McCoy's fullback, he's a fucking monster. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on this.
Going through right quick now.
But we know Moose Johnson. We know who he is.
No.
That's the Cowboys fullback, and then Motley over here, who's 6'2", 230 pounds over there for the Jaguars right now. Man, they got a monster backfield over there in Duval. Real talk right now, man. These fullbacks.
Ty Harris fullback. Oh, the Giants.
Giants.
Yeah.
Okay, the Giants. Good shit, the Giants.
Yeah,
all right, so yeah, that's right. He did trade for the Panthers full. That's the Panthers old fullback. All right, there we go. All right, so now with these fullbacks though, you're not just got guys that are gonna block. These guys can make plays, man. They can get you sneaky yards running the ball, and they all can catch the ball out the backfield. So we'll see how much that shows up in this Pro Bowl. Now let's get to the wide receivers right now, man. All right, so Sheldon Ward is the #1 receiver in the NFC right now for the Pro Bowl, right? Now, you know my feelings of Sheldon Ward, even though I say, damn, he underachieved this year. You look at his numbers, that's a goddamn lie. Numbers don't lie. This guy's an animal, flat out animal. And Pierre, man, Pierre over there too, man. He's done it with 2 quarterbacks. So we're looking at 2 6'5" dogs with speed. Bunnies, they can do everything, run the route tree all really, really well, and you know they can win one-on-one matchups at the same time too.
2 homegrown guys drafted and kept and stayed in this system and and did their time, and now they #1s in this system.
And these guys are from the mud, bro. When you talk about mud player, they from the mud, man. They from the mud. They come in and they from the mud. You know what I'm saying? Guys, these guys actually made these guys dogs. You know what I'm saying? And look, they come from 2 of the better passers in the league as far as coaching wise, and here they are, #1 receivers in the Pro Bowl this year, AFC, NFC. All right, so you got Boseman that made the Pro Bowl at #2. And my boy Waddle. Is this the farewell tour for Waddle right now? So, if it is, guys got to go crazy with him, man. Waddle's excited us through, 9 to 10 seasons, man. This guy has been absolutely off the chain and, flat out will go down in history as one of the best receivers that ever laced it up in our league, man.
To this point, he's probably been the best for overall longevity wise, and just biggest impact from wide receiver for a long period of stretch. He was probably that guy that really got his own initial nickname, the best nickname in the league. Walking Waddle. So
Walking Waddle.
If this is Waddle farewell tour, man. Appreciate what we've been seeing him do over these years. Second on this list in the Pro Bowl in the AFC right now, with some elite passes over here.
Yes, sir. First ballot Hall of Famer. We got to do a highlight video tribute for Waddle if this is his last hurrah. Word is born. Now, the next 2 at the 3rd receiver spot are 2 young gunners, right? You got Justin Ross for the Bears, who quietly became the Bears' Justin Fields' #1 target. And this guy is as advertised. Another self-made player over there, man. And he's putting in the work right now. And they haven't had a #1 receiver since Allen Robinson, man. And Justin Ross comes in and gives them exactly that right now. And then you got Taekwon Thornton, the speed demon, man. 99 speed, 99 excel, 4.2, 140 time. You dealing with a dog right now whose career hasn't even started yet. He hasn't even scratched the surface, and he's the #3 in this Pro Bowl. So we got some speed and height right now. Your first 3 receivers outside of Waddle, are above 6'2" right now. And then there's Walking Waddle standing alone right now. All right, so then Rashawn Hendricks, another speed demon for the Chargers, the #2. What you looking for? I had it. I don't know what the fuck I just did.
Another young gunner from the mud, from the Chargers, man. He well, we said this, and one thing we knew, the Chargers been having some other stuff been going on, but look, when he plays and locked in, look, he's the top pass in the league, and he shows it with a quarterback up in the Pro Bowl and 2 wide receivers.
Yes, sir. Two wide receivers. Like, listen, they're 6'3" and 6'5" respectively, but they're
respectively.
different receivers, man. Hendricks blow the top off your fucking defense in a heartbeat. Like, he gets up and down that field,
Man.
and he does a really good job scheming him open, man. The Chargers got some weapons over there, man. They can, if they can add just a little run game to that offense over there, they'll be fucking scary, man. Hard
They
to beat.
definitely got their quarterback over there, man.
Yes, sir. And then you got Hudson, man. We already know, the Saints. This is their #1 receiver over there, and we know what he can do. He's been, he
been to the
holds
top of the
records.
mountaintop
Yes,
and
sir.
some
He
more.
holds records right now. And you got the German fuck back and then Bolin. We talked about him earlier with the players of the week situations in the playoffs. But fuck back, look, man. When you lose a Isabella or a Rondell Moore, and you bring, this is your next guy up to take over the role that Rondell Moore played. He did it really well this year, man. He was up there when it comes down to yards, touchdowns, and all types of things. What is that?
Someone's taking a bathtub?
No, what you read that? And that snake was in the kitchen. It sounded like he was peeing and shit and flushing the toilet, but he was in the kitchen. All right, so again, got some dog ass receivers. So these are toys guys gonna get to play with, because a lot of these guys are weapons. You go down to the 6th spot, you got Timmons from the Lions, and then Chris Poole. We already know what Chris Poole been about. His entire career, he's been a monster for the Buffalo Bills. So this receiver pool is really, really deep. And you got different type of receivers that can do different things for these quarterbacks in the Pro Bowl. So shout out to the wide receivers that made it Pro Bowl. Now, tight end wise, 2 diaper dandies up here. You got Gilbert for the NFC, who had a monster year. And then Michael Meyer for the Colts, and Coach Irish Mike Tillman, who had another Notre. Every time he scored, he said something, the Irish or Notre Dame, some shit he said. This guy touched the end zone.
Brought out the bagpipes.
Yes, sir. But he balled out all year right now, giving them another weapon over there for that AFC South to be worried about. You got Debo Sharp for the Eagles, and then you got Lloyd for the Dolphins right now. All guys that are, taking that step, that next wave of tight ends that you got to pay attention to and really worry about. The next guy for the NFC is Pear for the Bears, who's been doing it for a long time, man. He's been really like their #2 target all year for about 6 seasons straight. And he's, you saw him in the playoff games, even still making plays for his team right now, man. So, as his career starts to wind down, he's getting up there in age, he's still up there. He's still a Pro Bowl guy right now. And then you got Shannon Sharp for the Steelers, another guy that if you played the Steelers, he get that guy the ball, he go get the 50-50s all game long. You're not going up and go and not get mossed with him. He's going to moss at least 2 or 3 times a game. He's that good at 6'8", 255. He brings in that different breed, size, weight, and speed at the tight end position that's in the league right now. These guys are monsters. They're
This previous edition, we called this year the tight end. And not only did we have some dynamic tight ends come into the league this year, we had some users, put some of those. You got some homegrown talent that's got developed, and put some of those young boys, the young talent to use.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are all new faces up here that we're talking about.
Sure.
And we still got a couple in the actual Super Bowl.
Yes, sir. With 99 Reasons and DW.
DW.
All right, so we get down to the linemen. Your left tackles, you got Whitehead, Huntington, and excuse me if I don't know who they play for. But if you know who your guys are, that's it. Your left tackle #1s are Huntington for the NFC and Whitehead for the AFC. You got McNally. I know he plays for the Bears at left tackle '2, and Mahoney. I know he plays for the Colts at left tackle #2. You come down to Klein, left guard #1, and then White, 6'4", 335, left guard #1 in the AFC. Fowler is a Cowboy. Devine, I'm not 100% sure. I think that's a Buffalo Bill. Sears, I know that is. I'm not sure. I think he's a Bear. Don't let me bust my brain. I don't know. Bear looks like a Bill. You got O'Hara. That's a Giant. I know that for a fact. Lindstrom. Can't remember who Alex Lindstrom played for. I don't know. Anyway, Oates for the Giants. Barrett at right guard right now. You got Lloyd at right guard, 6'4", 6'6", 311 pounds. You got Ramsey over here for the NFC. Strong looks like he's from the Cardinals. Johnson, I think that's either the Jaguars or the Dolphins, I think. You got Carr, 71, 6'6", 310 pounds, right tackle number 2, and Holt. Now, we get to the defensive side of things. You're looking at these DNs, these pass rushers. Colt Young was record-setting all year, man. His season ended with an injury in the divisional round. His team up 14-0, and he got hurt, man. Killed the Chargers' momentum in a way. But Tariq Smith, off his redshirt year, he balled out for the Cardinals. You got Mike Parsons, who played defensive end this year for the first time. Veteran Mike Parsons, man, jack of all trades, sitting there at left number 2. And then KJ Henry, the diaper dandy for the Bills, are sitting there at number 2 left end. You look at the right ends, Jeremy Cumberland, Sean Price, both veterans of the league. Sean Price switched teams from the Ravens to the Chargers, and all he did was become the number 1 right end in the Pro Bowl for the Chargers. Cumberland been doing it for years. He's up there for the Cardinals. You got Green for the Vikings, Coles for the Texans. At the D tackle spot, you got Lowry. I'm thinking that's the Falcons. And Sullivan, don't get me confused on who he plays for at 6'6". Oh, the Chargers. Yep, I remember him. He fucking used him all game too. All right, so you got Sammy Nichols for the Cowboys sitting there at number 2. Kitchen for the Bills at number 2 D tackle. The number 3, you got Johnson for the Vikings, and then Williams for the Steelers. Linebackers, Burns for the Packers, Dyson for the Raiders. There your linebacker, left outside linebackers number 1. Ojulari still playing for the Falcons, playing at a high level, left outside linebacker number 2. And then you got Nakobe Dean, the young gunner for the Pittsburgh Steelers, is up there, man, out of Georgia. Them guys be balling. They put a really good defense together, too. All right, so you got Graham at middle linebacker. I don't know who he plays for, but Presley plays for the Texans in the AFC. Isaiah Simmons makes it. That's the Cardinals. Johnson, T. Johnson, 56, 6'5", 255. I have no idea who he plays for. If you do, if you're on here watching and you know who this is your linebacker, let me know. I don't know who he is. I know Hutchinson plays for the Saints. Hutchinson played for the Saints, and Wilson played for the Texans.
Hutchinson is for the Saints.
Yes, sir. Now, right outside linebackers number 2, you got Maffa from the Washington football team, and Aubrey Miller, who's diaper dandy for the Buffalo Bills. At number 1 corner, Shields for the Bears. Sampson for the Chargers. You got Nigel Thomas, the my player, for the Giants, and you got Isaac Taylor Stewart for the Bills. Reeves Allen for the Cardinals, and Brett Franklin for the Chiefs. You got Bly for the Rams, and Brown, I don't know who he played for. Number 12, Brown, AFC. I have no idea who he plays for. But at the safety position, Peter McCoy, and then you got Deion Harris, who was second in the league in interceptions behind the linebacker Denzel Ward, White, or whatever, old man White for the Bucks. All right, so then at Croswell for the Cardinals, you got Fort, who played for the Chiefs. You got Irons, the $200 million man, and Radley Howes for the Bills. Von Savage for the Philadelphia Eagles. Malachi Moore, the diaper dandy for the Raiders, are strong safety number 2. Now you're looking at your kickers, Slate and Young. You're looking at punters, Kemp and Holcomb. Kick returners, you got Jay Jones, cornerback, and the NFC, and then Ingram for the Titans. Tutu Atwell looks like he's for the who the hell he was the Ram. He fucked around, played for the Bills right now.
Rams.
And then you got John Emery Jr. for the Lions right now, number 3 running back over there, and Detroit right now. So they go your Pro Bowl guys, man, your Pro Bowl players, fellas. So let's get some of these games knocked out, see how that goes. A short show. Just want to talk about the Pro Bowl guys right now and see how that goes, man. We'll get all the information out to y'all about the Super Bowl when that will be played. And as you play the Pro Bowl, man, broadcast that in the main chat, and then we'll go from there. Other than that, this AntHits the Franchise Guru, man. We out of here. You heard?